प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर शिव सदी गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। कृष्णा राम हरे हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा Jayo Prabhupada, Jayo Prabhupada, Jayo Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Pada Prabhupada, 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 Jayo Jayo Prabhupada. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajākacārya Ashtoshata His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti-Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Hare Krishna. This morning we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, chapter number 29, entitled Krishna and the Gopis Meet. And today we're gonna cover text number 23 and 24. So 23 I will read by myself and 24 we will read together. atha mad-abhisnehād bhavatyo yantritāśayāḥ āgatā upapannam prīyante mayi jantavaḥ. Translation. On the other hand, perhaps you have come here out of your great love for me, which has taken control of your hearts. This is of course quite commendable on your part, since all living entities possess his natural affection for me. Text number 24. So this one we're going to read together. Bhartahu shushunam strina paro dharmo he ameya tad bandhunam chakalyana prajanam chanuposhana bhartuhu shushushanam strina paro dharmo he amyaya tad bandhunam chakalyana prajanam chanuposhana bhartuhu shushunam strina paro dharmo he amyaya tad bandhunam chakalyana prajanam chanuposhana bhartuhu shushunam strina paro dharmo he amayaya tad bandhunam chakalyana chanam chanuposhanam paro dharmo he amayaya taru bandhunam chakalyana prajanam chanuposhanam bhartuhu shushunam strina paro dharmo amamayaya tad bandhunam chakalyana prajanam chanuposhanam. Matajis. Bhartuhu shushunam strina paro dharmo he mayaya tad bandhunam cha kalyanaha prajanam chanuposhana bhartuhu shushunam strinam paro dharmo hya mayaya tad bandhunam cha kalyanaha prajanam chanuposhana bhartuhu shushunam strinam paro dharmo hya mayaya bandhunam cha kalyanam janam chanuposhana. What two-word meaning? Bhartuhu, of one's husband. Shushrunam, faithful service. Strinam, for women. Paraha, the highest. Dharmaha, religious duty. Hai, indeed. Amayaya, without duplicity. Tad bandhunam, to the relatives of their husbands. Cha, and. Kalayanaha, doing good. Prajanam, of their offsprings. Cha, and. Anuposhanam, the care. Translation prepared by the disciples of Srila Prabhupada. Translation. The highest religious duty for a woman is to sincerely serve her husband, behave well toward her husband's family, and take good care of her children. Purport. Srila Jiva Goswami astutely points out here that the gopis' real eternal husband is Lord Krishna, not their so-called husbands at home, who falsely considered the gopis their property. Thus, a strict interpretation of the word amayaya, without illusion, reveals that the supreme religious duty for the gopis is to serve Sri Krishna, their real lover. Om Ajnanatirmirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshuanmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenbandho Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Shri Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishbhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pisthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nitinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyate Deshatarane Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Shri Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So as we can see here, this chapter entitled itself that Krishna desired to meet gopis for the rasa dance, and he's making a platform here. And as we have come through here, text number 23 and 24 so far, we can see how he was agitating or making the preparation in the mind of the gopis. He played a flute in such a melodious way that it conquered the heart of the gopis. And they kept and they left everything aside just to please Krishna. And they would just keep running whatever they were doing in their household duty, whether they were taking care of their babies, taking care of their husbands, cleaning the houses, dressing themselves, whatever it means. They just left everything once they heard the flute. Some of the members of their family, they were trying to stop them, but they did not bother. And someone has them threaten them that now you are going don't even think to come back. They were thinking, what are you saying? I'm not coming back at all. I'm just going to Krishna. That's all. What you are going to say me, I'm giving you the ultimatum. I'm not going to come back. So that is the surrender of level here Krishna is showing. And when this gopis has come up to meet Krishna, in such a beautiful way, Krishna is trying to increase their love again by doing the argument and counter-arguments. First of all, Krishna called them to come and meet him. And suddenly when they come up, they're saying, what are you doing here? What's your purpose? Don't you know you are married and unmarried girl? You are the properties of your father, brothers, and your husband. It doesn't suit you. You are such a chaste woman. You are such a faithful woman. You shouldn't do it. And they were increasing their love a lot in their heart. First you called us, and now you are saying us, why you have come up? That is not nice. But that is the way Krishna is trying to increase the love. Suppose if a boyfriend calls his girlfriend to come and meet him somewhere in the shopping center and park at 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock, and she comes, and she says, what are you doing here? Why have you come up here? What is your purpose? And how does she feel? You say, you called me. I have got so many things to do at my household duties, and you're saying what I'm doing here. So that is the way. It is just a sweet relationship. He's joking with them. He's just trying to prompt the more intense love out of their heart. But by doing so, all these things, Krishna has many meanings saying all these conversations and dialogues. Because whatever he does to attract the conditioned soul towards him, towards at his lotus feet. So it's one of the way he's teaching us. Even we go through with the Srimad Bhagavatam teaching throughout the whole, whether it's Canto 1 to Canto 12, we see there is a description and the duties and the responsibilities of all the varnas and ashrama. No matter who you are, whether you are a brahmachari, whole descriptions of the brahmacharis, what are their duties and responsibilities are given in Bhagavad-Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. And same as in a grahastha, the full Srimad Bhagavatam is there, how they can elevate themselves. The only thing it's condemned in the scripture is Grahamedi life. And there's a description for Varna Ashrama Dharma that is also given there. There's a description of duties for rules and regulation for the sannyasa. This is also given here. But I'm going to stick to today's topic, which is talking about the highest religious duty for a woman is to sincerely serve her husband. Before I go, there's a disclaimer here. Because in the beginning, there is a lot of knowledge that women, they are like less intelligent, has been quoted there, but they have been misrepresented in a different way. So people get agitated not to understand with their maturity. So once one Mataji, she came to Srila Prabhupada and she says in a very grave and a humble and a very submissive mood, she says, Srila Prabhupada, everyone's saying there is no hope for the woman to go back to Godhead. Is that true? Then Prabhupada kept quiet. He said, yes, that is true. That is true. And suddenly he says, unless you keep thinking yourself as a woman, it's very hard for you. So we are not this woman, we are not man. We are spirit soul, and spirit soul has no gender at all. It is just of due to our karma, we have grabbed this man body and a woman body. If I see myself in this lifetime, I'm in a man body because I was attracted in my previous human birth. I was attracted to man body. I was in a woman body. And Krishna says, oh really, you want to enjoy man body? Okay, I award you man body. And same as with the women, because they said they were man in their previous life. Whenever they got the human birth, they say, oh, you want to enjoy woman body? Okay, I award you as a woman body. So I would request everybody to understand on the level of their spiritual maturity on this subject matter. So as we see, the highest religious duty for the woman is been given in the scripture. They have only one dharma to perform, Stri dharma. And the only one and only dharma is for them is to serve their husband at all. Apart from that, they don't have any other dharma. Because if they are in the grahastha ashram, when they look after the household duties, the husband get the time to perform their spiritual duty. It says when the woman get married, so she goes into an ashram. Ashram of whose ashram? Her husband's ashram. And that's also ashrams becomes her own ashram. And in that ashram, she has to take care of the duties been performed or been given in the household life. It says when a woman or a man, when they come into a relationship, it's not only two people are coming into a relationship, there are two families are also coming into a relationship. It is not only just by one and one, only you and me. No, it's not a concern of two parties. It is a concern of two families. They are also reuniting. If you see in the Vedic culture, there is no term has been given, it's called divorce. There is no such thing, divorce. Because I do remember that when in our India, when any girl, when she gets married and she goes to her in-laws' home, and the father and the mother say only one thing, because she used to go on a palanquin, and palanquin has been taken by 4 people, as we see Srila Prabhupada's palanquin in his Prabhupada house. So it's been carried by. So when the woman gets married, so that palanquin has been decorated very wonderfully. So the 4 people from the husband's side, they come and they carry her to her home. And it's been said by the father, now you are going on a palanquin by 4 people. So once your duty is, when you finish your life, you also have to come out on the shoulder of 4 people, and that's her death. So there's no question for her coming out that, okay, I'm going for a month or a year or 2 years. When we will have fight, I will be back. There was no question for her. She has been fully trained into the Vedic culture. Because the way she holds the home, and that's been called, it's a Stri Dharma. Because she only holds the whole house. She holds the husband, she holds the children, she holds the in-laws, she takes care of everything over here. And there is a full description how a woman can perform a beautiful household duty. And I would like to narrate a pastime of Devahuti here. Kardama Muni and Devahuti. Kardama Muni, he's been called as Mahayogi. Such a wonderful, such a powerful yogi he was. And his wife, Devahuti, she was Yoga Lakshana. She was also awarded with the 8 mystic power. And she was a royal princess, not just an ordinary woman. It's been said when she was playing on her home's roof there with the ball, one of the Gandharva, he saw her beauty and he fell from the airplane. And her father, Swayambhuva Manu, and Shatarupa, her mother, they gave her hand to whom? Kardama Muni. And he has merely a house of a straw hut house, not a very opulent way. But the way she has been trained by her mother, the way she became the wife, she completely surrendered. She forgot to dress herself. She forgot to make up herself. She completely left everything aside only just to please her husband. She became so thin, she was not able to recognize. She was completely absorbed in obeying the order of her husband completely. And by seeing that, husband became so pleased, and he awarded that, okay, whatever spiritual activity I have done, I give you the half. Can you see the beauty? When she gets married, a woman, she always takes everything of her husband. Her name, her properties, her name, her spiritual activities. Whatever the activity husband does, half of the activity, it goes to the wife. But whose wife? I mean, how she should look like? She must be chaste. Only that wife, she gets the half. If the wife is not chaste and faithful, it's difficult for her to do it. So that's why it's been said, when she's been taken care of the household duties, as soon as the husband comes from the work, and she gives him a good reception with the sweet words, offers him nice food, takes care of him, all his needs and necessities, and that's why she becomes so glorious. And that's where the Vedic culture is there. We can see in our family life also, I can see personally my mom, she's been, when they were young, and they have been like, some conflict is there between husband and wife, but she never raised her voice at all. She has been never raised her voice at all. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, there's a beautiful pastime in Antya Leela where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu meets Vallabha Bhatt. And the Vallabha Bhatt, he was trying to give his commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay? And he says to Advaita Acharya, is that not true that every living entity in this world, they are female? They are Prakriti? He said, yeah, that's true. And the Krishna is the only Purusha, is the only husband. Yeah, it is true. So why, and it is also been said that women should not call out their husband's name. This is also a dharma. You say, yeah, that is also true. Then why do you chant the name of Krishna? That is not nice. He said, but if the husband says, you have to chant my name, that means you have to follow the order of your husband. So it is not question, and it is not a dharma. This is a dharma. That's what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says. This is the dharma of the wife to follow the order. If the husband said this and that, even though it is against the dharma, it is against the religious principle, no karma will affect the wife. Only the karma will affect the husband. Because her duty is only just to follow the order of her husband. Whatever will good and bad, it's only husband will bear. Nothing will happen to the wife. The more thing happen with the wife, it will affect her consciousness, nothing else. And we can see in the case of a Devahuti and Kardama Muni, and whatever the destination of the husband was, Devahuti automatically achieved. Another case study is Swayambhuva Manu and Shatarupa. When they handed over all their kingdom to their son Uttanapad and Priyavrata later on, he went to the forest to spend rest of his life on the spiritual practice. And whatever the destination he achieved, straightway the destination was achieved by his dear wife Shatarupa. This was the positive case. I'm going to take the negative case here. And the negative case was Dhritarashtra and Gandhari. We can see how Dhritarashtra, he was not following the order of the dharma. It was completely going against it. He was giving a hard time to the pure devotees of the Lord. Full on. But Gandhari, his beautiful wife, she was so chaste. In the history of Vedic culture, her name and Sita's name is always been on the top. She's been known by her chastity. She's been known by her chastity here, Gandhari. And as soon as we can see, when she find out that her husband is blind by birth, what she did, not to show any inferiority towards her Ramana, she closed her eyes as well. That's her chastity, just her austerity. In that case, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna says there, for brahmachari, Guru is the representative of Krishna. For a child, the mother is the representative of Krishna. For a woman, the husband is the representative of Krishna. The way a brahmachari lights up the fire in the sacrifice to assist his guru, in a similar way, a woman also lights up the fire in the kitchen to cook for her husband. And that is also a sacrifice. And Krishna sees these two activities on an equal level. Because we are in this world, and being as a condition, whatever ashrama or one ashramas we are in there, we have to perform our prescribed duty. And it's very important. We have to know our nature. We have to see where we stand. And we choose our ashrams and occupation, and we perform our duty. No doubt, Krishna says that you need to come out of this modes of material nature, all these designations. These are the material designation. Brahmacharya, sannyasa, grahastha, vanaprastha, kshatriya, these all are material designation. No wonder these are material designation. But at the end of the day, we have to practice our spirituality under these modes of nature. And once we develop, once we get advanced, then we can give up all this designation. But before that, we don't have to act prematurely in this way here. And a similar way, there is a very beautiful pastime in Canto 9. There was this Muni, his name was Chaivana Muni. He was married to a very, very young girl. Her name was Sukanya. She was equal to Chaivana Muni's granddaughter. And when I was going through with this pastime, I found a very beautiful paragraph I would like to read for all of you here. Because this Chaivana Muni, he has a very irritational temperament, as every man does, because man has an ego here. They want to look superior to their wife. We can see, like, whatever happened in their work time, or if they had a fight or had a bad time with others, they come home and they get angry on their wife. And they pour everything out on their wife. So it is one of the typical husband here, Chaivana Muni. And this is a beautiful way Srila Prabhupada has been given a solution how the wife can hold the irritational husband here. This is an indication of the relationship between husband and wife. A great personality like Chavna Muni has the temperament of always wanting to be in a superior position as a typical husband. Such a person cannot submit to everyone. Therefore, Chavna Muni had an irritable temperament. His wife Sukanya could understand his attitude, and under the circumstances, she treated him accordingly. Such a beautiful lesson by that. A woman has to see what is the time, place, and circumstances and the mood of the husband and treat accordingly. If any wife wants to be happy with her husband, she must try to understand her husband's temperament and please him. This is the victory for a woman. Even in the dealings of Lord Krishna with his different queens, it has been seen that although the queens were the daughters of great kings, they placed themselves before Lord Krishna as his maidservant. However great a woman may be, she must place herself before her husband in this way, that is to say, she must be ready to carry out her husband's orders and please him in all circumstances. Then her life will be successful. When the wife becomes as irritable as the husband, their life at home is sure to be disturbed or ultimately completely broken. In the modern days, the wife is never submissive, and therefore home life is broken even by slight incidents. Either the wife or the husband may take advantage of the divorce law. According to the Vedic law, however, there is no such thing as divorce law, and a woman must be trained to be submissive to the will of her husband. Westerns contend that this is a slave mentality for the wife. They think if the wife is not opening her mouth in front of her husband, that means she has been subjugated in a very bad way. She has become a slave. But let's see what Srila Prabhupada is saying ahead. But factually, it is not. It is the tactic by which a woman can conquer the heart of her husband. However irritable or cruel he may be, in this case, we clearly see that although Chavna Muni was not young, but indeed old enough to be Sukanya's grandfather and also very irritable, Sukanya, the beautiful daughter of a king, submitted herself to her old husband and tried to please him in all respect that she has a faithful and a chaste wife. What a beautiful purport, yeah? Every solution is given in the Srimad Bhagavatam, how to handle it. If we don't learn or don't practice, how are we going to teach to our children? We can understand that it is not there in the Western countries. Yeah, because they haven't seen their mother doing all those things. They haven't seen their grandmother or grandfather and everything who are doing all this Vedic culture. That's their misfortune. And that's our misfortune as well, whether it's the Eastern philosophy or the Western philosophy. Prayena alpa ayushya sabhya kalau yasmin mudde jana manda sumanda mateo manda bhagyo. Manda bhagya means they are misfortune. They are misfortune. Whatever comes through our karma in our life, we must have to deal with it. Sometimes due to our misfortune, what has happened? We get the wrong partner. It's not that we get the wrong partner, this is our karma. Due to our karma, we get that much. We get that much. We get the husband, sometimes he's not good enough to support us. Sometimes we get the wife, she's not good enough. So whatever it is, we have to deal it. We have to take as a blessings or as a fruit of our karma and deal accordingly. How to deal? That has been given in the Srimad Bhagavatams here and other scriptures. And that's all been here. And we can see in the case of Srila Prabhupada's dear sister, Pishima Mataji, Bhavtarini, yeah? Her name was Bhavtarini Mataji. We can see she hasn't got a good husband. She was married to a non-devotee. And he was doing all kind of sinful activity. He was smoking, meat eating, intoxication, everything was doing. And Pishima Mataji, not even Srila Prabhupada's biological sister, she was also his god sister. One day she came to Srila Prabhupada. She said, Srila Prabhupada, what should I do? This is a case in front of you. What should be done? My husband is not supportive. He's completely, doing adharma. Then what Srila Prabhupada, did he advise her to get divorced? You know what he said? He said, what did you learn from your mother? She says, to serve in any circumstances. He said, so do it. What's the problem? He said, do you remember, Bhavatarini, then you and me, when we were child, we were worshipping a deity called Radha Govinda. Still, I do have that deity. You take this deity, worship your husband, and worship this deity, and pray to Lord Krishna, and He will help you. He will guide you in all the circumstances. Please do so. And she followed the instruction of Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada did not advise her take divorce. He says, if whatever karma comes to you, just deal with it. And she did that. Years after years, whatever her husband said, she was doing whatsoever. So one day, by the blessings of Lord Krishna, her husband realized, oh my God, what am I doing? I've got such a beautiful wife. Whatever I say, she says, yes, sir. She comes and does everything, whatever I say. And I am such a adharma person. And by the blessing of Lord Krishna, his heart became changed. And he came to her one day and he asked for the forgiveness for all his sinful activity, for all his behavior, whatever he did to her. And in this way, we can see the power of Sri Dharma here. The power of Sri Dharma. She can change it. And she did that. It is a live example here. Bhavatarini Mataji, she changed her husband through her chastity. And there is also a beautiful example in the scriptures where we see the pastime where Lord Vishnu, Shaligram and Tulsi Vivaha. There was a demon called Jalandhara. And his wife was Tulsi there with her different name. And she was so chaste and faithful that demon, he was conquering all over the world. He went to, Pataloka, he just went to Swargaloka, everywhere. And no one able to defeat her. He was so powerful. And they find out, why is it that so? Why we are not able to conquer this demon? And they find out just because of the chastity of his wife. Because his wife is so chaste, that's why you are not able to kill this man. So what should be done? So they went to Lord Vishnu. And then Lord Vishnu says, okay, no problem, I can do it. Because she was also doing the austerity to get Lord Vishnu as her husband. So Lord Vishnu came in the form of this demon, Jalandhara, and he broke her chastity. As soon as he broke her chastity, the demon Jalandhara was finished. His head was chopped off. That's what we can say here all the time here. And in the other case, if the woman, if she does not follow the order of her husband, what has happened? That case is also given in the Srimad Bhagavatam, and that's the case of Lord Shiva and Mother Sati. Mother Sati. As we know, there is a tussle between Sati's father Daksha and Lord Shiva. They don't like each other. I mean, there is no problem from Lord Shiva's side, but Daksha was envious of Lord Shiva's position. How come this person has been so respectable, so superior to me, so and so? He didn't like him. So one day he was trying to have a yajna. He called the whole world, but he did not call his daughter and his son-in-law. When Sati found out, then she, offered something. He said, my dear husband, that's what's happening. I'm also a woman. I'm also a daughter. My father is doing a big ceremony. I also want to go. And she gave so many, pleasing words, pleasing excuses in front of Lord Shiva. And the Lord Shiva heard everything. And he said, look, my dear Sati, you're so beautiful and you're also so innocent. Don't you know that your father don't like me? If you go to your father's house, he will not respect you. Why? Because your relation to me. Because your relationship. Please don't go. And there will be not for you in the future, there will be no good fortune for you. She heard, she didn't like, how come my husband is stopping me? She was just walking like a pendulum, back and forth. And she gave a very hard look to Lord Shiva. Who you are, I can go by myself. And she left. She did not obey the order of her husband. She just left. And when she went there, we can see what has happened. She has to lose her life. She has to lose her life. So it is quite important for all of us that we have to train ourselves, not just because today's topic is talking about the woman's religious duty, but it is also a duty of a woman also, man also. If they are thinking to get married, they have to know that they also have a duty to perform towards their wife. Srila Prabhupada says in 7th canto, somewhere in 11th chapter, I think the chapter entitled The Four Classes, the duties of the one ashrama. And they are one of the, between text number 25 to 29, Srila Prabhupada writes कि if a husband is not following the dharma and he's doing all the sinful activities, so in that case it is advisable. It is not, it is a stamp. You have to do it. It is advisable that woman can leave the husband. Woman can leave the husband if the man is doing all the sinful activity, namely illicit sex, intoxication, gambling, and so on, and meat eating. And the other side, it is also said, when the wife is not chaste, a man can also leave her and practice their spirituality. But apart of saying all these things, everything depends upon the case to case. On the other side, Pishima Mataji, she conquered the heart and won her husband love. And the other side here, if the husband is not able to correct himself, what should be done? Because we have given this life to attain the parodharmo, that is the love of Lord Krishna here. And we can see in today's words here, the gopis, they left their so-called husband, but their real husband is Lord Krishna. So if our material husband is not doing well, so accept Lord Krishna as your husband. Because ultimately, if you have to perform your Stri Dharma or a Purush Dharma, you have to attain the love of Lord Krishna. That is the only way. Ultimately, we need to practice our spirituality under the guidance of our spiritual master and seniors here. That's all I would like to say here in this matter. If anybody has any question, any comments, please feel free to add and subtract.
During Vedic culture, the seniors were properly trained and society in general were following the rules and regulations. So it's customary that the woman is surrendered to the husband and carries out her duties and you know, with extreme chastity. But being brought up in Kali Yuga, in particular, this social society, people don't know anything about respect, and so if one's sense gratification is interfered with, immediately they want to change, looking for something else. So we're trying to revitalize Vedic culture, or bring it back. Prabhupada's introducing into Vedic culture certain standards which are acceptable and followed. So how can we expect that the husband will do his Vedic duty and be, you know, careful to maintain the family and give spiritual upliftment, and then the wife, it seems, because no one's hardly doing that, you know. So what can you comment on that a little bit?
Prabhu, as far as I understand that, especially Prabhupada says before getting into married life, every man should get trained for some years or some months under as a brahmacharya. He says that before, if you get into there, because if you go, you know where the exit is. Because people don't get trained in the brahmacharya ashrama, and they get into that and they get bewildered. Oh, it's Graham Andhakupam. I don't know where to go out. Where is the exit? So they have not been trained by like that. They only know married life is only just to satisfy their genitals. But that is the way Srila Prabhupada says, you need to get trained under brahmacharya. At least whatever chance you get, 1 month, 2 months, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, please get trained. That was the Vedic culture. When the boy is born, he's been sent to his Gurukula. And for first 25 years, he get trained as a brahmacharya. Because he knows, when he goes into a grahastha life, he knows where is the exit. And with that exit, he can take out his family, his wife, and his children, and everybody. So that was the way. And the 51 is say ikawan in Hindi. That means just try, be prepared to leave your home and go for the vana, to the forest to practice. So that's all I can say. If anybody has any more, please they can add. I think Mataji has one question.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you for the very nice enlightening class. How best can an aspiring devotee like myself, who's accepted Lord Krishna in the heart of my heart as my husband, so how best can I serve him? How best? By following Srila Prabhupada's instructions.
Can you repeat your question once again? I think I did not understand either. Yeah.
How best
How best
can an aspiring devotee like myself,
can an aspiring devotee like you,
Yeah, serve Lord Krishna, Radha Shyam Sundar, who have accepted as my husband.
You have accepted Lord Krishna as your husband.
Yeah, so
Okay.
by following Srila Prabhupada's instructions,
Mhm.
and how best can I serve him? By humbling myself, and so he will be pleased.
Yeah. The best thing is that satovriti. Satovriti means by following the footstep of the previous devotees, how they have attained. How they have attained. Like if you see in our movement, there were these cases happened, like some of the Mataji's husband, and they took sannyasa in their early life. So they have been left alone. So they came to Srila Prabhupada and said, what should I do? Should I get married? He said, no, just accept Krishna as your husband, and just be attached to anything. Just serve him. So whatever and whoever is guiding you, just associate with all the senior Matajis, those who are following already in the one ashrama systems. So we can take guidance from them. Even though the Srimad Bhagavatam is there to guide us, but how to follow the instruction, that is also we require a little bit of intelligence. Those devotees who have already been walking on this path, so we can take guidance from them. Otherwise, how do we know what intelligence do we have? If we say, okay, I am a single and I accept Krishna as my husband, but do we have that much faith what the gopis had? Because 2 days back, Guru Maharaj gave an answer. He says, like, if you say, I'm surrendering, but somewhere I'm also keeping off my security in the form of money and property and everything, in case if Krishna doesn't help me, so I can go back to my material support. No, completely surrendered. They did not come out of their husband homes, gopis with the briefcase and some dresses and some makeup kit. They just left everything, whatever they were doing. So that's how it is. So we required a little bit of guidance to walk on this path, because we don't have intelligence. If we don't have intelligence, we can borrow the intelligence from the higher
From those
devotees.
Yes.
So that's all I'm going to say.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Thank you.
Can you please speak into the mic
Yeah.
closer? Thank you.
You said Gandharvi was blind himself.
So, sorry, Prabhu, I can't hear you. Please speak in the mic.
Yes, sir. The wife of Dhritarashtra blind himself for two.
The wife of this Rashtra, she blind herself.
How
Yeah.
she can serve his husband like that? How she can serve his husband like that?
Like that, how can she serve her husband like that?
Yeah, it was very, very good for him to get a wife if she can guide him.
Yeah.
It is like a poor man, very nice, very devotee,
Yeah.
and he find one very nice girl, very wealthy, and she throw all the money to become his wife. What is this?
Yeah. No, this is how the Gandhari, she's setting an example. Because as I said in my lecture, she was not having her husband known that he is inferior to her just because of his bodily, thing. What she did, that's for her chastity. And it's not like that she did not serve. Dhritarashtra was a king. He had so many maidservants. And she served him so nicely. And you can see at the end of the Mahabharata, just because of that austerity, she gave her vision, because one time she took off her plate and she gave that power to her son Duryodhana. Just make his upper body just like an iron. He could not be defeated. Can you see the power up there? So that's her chastity. It's not like that she did not serve. She served. She was giving him a good advice. But what can be done? Because she is subordinate. She's subjugated to her husband. She only can say, she can't hold, his neck, you have to do this. Like, today's people do it. Either you have to listen to me, otherwise I'll go my way, you go your way. That's not the way. She said whatever she could say, and rest his karma or her karma. That's what I would say. I think one question there, in the middle, one Mataji wants to know.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Your class was really very loaded and really amazing, actually. You gave
Srila
amazing,
Prabhupada's mercy.
amazing examples. I felt impelled to ask this question. Sometimes we see within ISKCON that there are devotee couples who
They are
are
devotee couples. Yes.
who have been living together for many years all together. And then towards the end, suddenly they decide to part. Sometimes there is abuse in the marriage. You know, the wife may be very submissive. And obviously we say that it takes two to tango, which means both are contributing to the disrupted married life. But I heard you, because I was listening to you on the radio, I heard you said that if anyone is breaking the four regulative principles, then it's okay to part. Though Prabhupada said that there's no divorce and there's no separation.
Yep.
So say, for instance, if the husband, because I'm dealing with a couple, just the Mataji is speaking to me. Sometimes if the husband is abusive, he may not be breaking the four regs. But say if he's actually emotionally...
Like violent.
Sorry?
He's been violent.
Violent?
Yeah.
Yes, but sometimes they don't even have to be physically violent.
Yeah.
I mean, if they do that, then that's the end of everything, should be.
Yeah.
But sometimes the wife just tolerates. But if the husband is just even emotionally abusive, if you know what I mean.
Yep.
So then what would you suggest in that case? And I appreciate karma. You know, women are not, in our movement, like you said, we don't have those examples.
Yep.
I mean, I've seen wonderful examples in my own family. So we have something to go by. But if we don't, and within ISKCON, so my question is this, sorry for going so long, but just wanted to put it into perspective, that if one of them is emotionally abusive, do you think that they should just let it be, burn off their karma? Or if it gets unbearable, then what should they do? That's my first question.
Mataji, for this question, there are many angles to see, and it depends case to case. It is not the statement, that's what it is. Because Krishna also says in Bhagavad-Gita that tamasti tikshva bharata, tolerate. But tolerate also has a level to it, okay? And one time, one GBC came to Srila Prabhupada, and he was complaining about one of the temple president. He says to Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada, I can't tolerate, this temple president is listening to me, he doesn't follow me, what I say, I can't tolerate, and he was keep going, I can't tolerate. Srila Prabhupada was writing something, and he put his pen down, he said, tolerate the way I'm tolerating you. It is not like that, we are the only one who is tolerating, there are also many people, thousands of people, they are tolerating us. Okay, so we have to spread the same mercy to get tolerate others also. But if it's unbearable, where it has a limit, then with the consultation of Guru and the senior Vaishnavas, because there are many details in there, we can just sit with the husband, what is the problem? What do you want? Is there something? Because the sound doesn't comes with the one hand. Okay, if there is an issue, so that must be wife also has done something. But in coming to you, she's not opening her heart fully. She's just showing you, okay, I'm a good pie, and my husband is a bad one. So it is not like that. So in the same case, we can just sit together. If they think, okay, if you really want to get separated, which way? Because ultimately, by somehow or other, we have to burn our karma and tolerate whichever way we can tolerate. And as Srila Prabhupada told the solution, pray to the Lord. Yeah. He can show you the mercy. That's all I can say, even though I'm not inexperienced in this matter. So by seeing all these things, I just want to open up.
Well,
Your blessing keep me always lucky. Is there anything else? Okay, thank you so much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.